Welcome everyone, and thank you for visiting with me tonight on this video. This is going to be a quick one, and I'm sure some of you were shocked with the title, but hang in there with me for a minute and it'll begin to make some sense to you. So I wanted to go over this because I believe it's a part of the reverse spirituality that's being taught in the churches and part of the great deception that is going on within religions. So let me tell you what I'm saying here. You are not a body who owns a soul or a higher self. You are a spiritual being, the soul or the higher self, who owns a body. If you're Christian, you know that Jesus said, your body is your temple. Your body is your temple. That's because you are not the body who owns the soul or the higher self. You are the soul or the higher self. And you own a body which is your temple. Just like the church or the temple is the house of the Lord, your body is your house as a spiritual being. You are the soul. You are the higher self. It's not like I said, like you're a body who owns a soul. And I think that's what some of the religions want to convince you of, is that you are a mortal. Well, you're not a mortal. Your body is mortal. But you are a spiritual being, and we know that too, because we live beyond death to face judgment. And so we know that we don't die when the body dies. So why would we think we are the body? We're not the body. The body's the temple that houses us, the spiritual being, the higher self, the soul. And there is I guess what some people would call an oversoul or God or Jesus or whatever your religion may call it. Yes, there is a higher state to the higher self or the soul, and that's reunification with God. But I just wanted to clear that up, for a couple of reasons. One, for the reason of, mistaken identity. We don't want to be running around thinking we are a body and we have a soul when we're actually a soul who has a body. We're a spiritual being who has a body. And secondly, just to start getting the language correct. I mean, we don't even have the language correct. When Jesus said, your body is your temple, he was speaking to you as a spiritual being, as the higher self or the soul. He wasn't speaking to you as a body. He said the body is the temple. Your body is your temple. So he was speaking of the body as an object and speaking to you as yourself, the higher self. So I just wanted to clear that up, and I hope that makes sense to you. And that also leads into, what I talked about before about who's here, who's who are you, who am I, who are we all, what are we doing here? And this is part of it. Part of who we are is we are spiritual beings, and we're here in these temples, which is another reason that all this fighting about racism and everything is so silly to me, because the body isn't the person. I mean, that would be like if you said, I don't like any people who drive yellow cars. What? It's just a car. It's a carriage. It's a vessel. It gets me around. Well, the same is true of the body. It's just a vessel that we use to carry us around. All of us spiritual beings, all of us souls, all of us higher selves that are here having this experience, this human experience together. We all have these vessels carrying us around that are, in one sense, kind of equivalent to a car. I mean, it's a carriage, it's a vessel. And so why people would fight about instead of celebrate differences just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Especially when you look at it in those terms. When we look at ourselves as spiritual beings just residing in these bodies, then, I mean, like, really? Do people have prejudices against everybody that drives Volkswagens, or people don't like everybody that drives a compact car? I mean, I don't know. It's just silliness. But anyway, I always kind of think about that when I think about, who we are and what we are, the fact that we're spiritual beings in these bodies. And then people would say, well, I don't like people who have this kind of body or that kind of body. It's like saying I don't like people who have this kind of car or that kind of car, or this kind of house or that kind of house. It's just silly. But anyway, just wanted to bring you those thoughts tonight. And if you want to see, hear some more about who's here, why we're here, what we're all doing, then maybe I'll do another video. Y'all let me know. Okay? Thanks.